Shalom, brothers and sisters. I want to introduce myself. Um, I'd like to partner with other Hebrew groups and share information and, learn from them and they learn from me and my group. I started to step down as pastor because, the young men are taking off, doing such a great job, but God let me know He does not want me to step down from being a pastor. I've always been in sight of who He is. Didn't know His name, didn't know the truth that I am a Hebrew. I just recently found out, going on 2 years, was May of 2015. But I'm going to continue, and I hope that my brothers doesn't get offended, but I believe that I have too much information to share uh, to sit back and not share it with others. I think it's my duty to share what I've learned through my long years of experience, and not to even say the study of the Bible for 13 years. So I have a lot to bring to the table, although I have learned from some of the Hebrew groups. I have learned from Bible Unlock, that young man. He's good. Watch him. I have learned from I think it's GCO G GOCC. I have learned from that group. They are awesome, and you can learn a lot from them. We have to learn from each other. There are too many leaders and not enough followers. We need to learn from each other, and we don't need to feel that we know it all and get upset when someone else knows something that we may not know. We are all newly Hebrews. Some of us have been with the new knowledge for longer than others, but many of us are new, and it doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are. We are just finding out who we are, and we're coming out. Being that I've learned that I'm a Hebrew, I have started the study of my Bible all over again. With my wisdom and knowledge, I could prophesy, I could predict the prophecies in the Bible now. I mean, it's so clear. It's so very clear. There is no doubt whatsoever in my mind that I am a Hebrew Israelite, and most of the African Americans are Hebrews, Hebrew Israelites also, and there's no doubt whatsoever about it. So I'm going to introduce myself. I'll try and be quick with it because I want you to know who you're dealing with, and if you would want to partner with our group. And by the way, we are Judah's Hebrew Israelite is the name of our group. And we have a Bible study that's called Sons and Daughters of Zion Hebrew Bible Study. And that way we can share information. We could learn from each other. And I hope that everybody would join. So I was born in Sylvania, Georgia, a very, very long time ago. And I'm not going to say my age right now because I've told that I look younger than I am. Let's leave it at that. Um, I'm blessed with a good husband, a very good husband. And I have 7 children, five from my previous marriage and 2 from this marriage. We've been married for quite a while now, 29 years or 30 years. We've been married for quite a while, and I'm still happy with him, and he's still happy with me. Um, I was raised in Harlem, in the Bronx, New York. Harlem, New York, as a child, and grew up in the Bronx, New York, as I became older. In Greater Pentecostal in Harlem was my church. Bishop Bonner, I will never forget his name. It was quite a while ago, but I was raised a Pentecostal. And I lived in Fort Lauderdale, Florida for 22 years with my first marriage. And I'm living now in South Carolina, and I've been here about 18 years in South Carolina. I studied at a number of theology colleges and universities online, and I pastor and chaplain license and certificates are from International Federation of Christian Chaplains Incorporated. And I wrote a book um, in 2007 called A Silent Cry. It's about my niece. It's just a tool to help. My niece asked me to write a book for her. I've never written a book before, and I really didn't want to, but I did it because she was so devastated coming up being abused that way. I didn't know that, and it hurt so bad that I did write this book, only 27 pages, and it's just the episodes that occurred in her life, some of them. And it's only 27 pages long. It's on Amazon. You might want to try it. Those that have experienced similar um, kinds of problems and issues. She was molested since the age of 5 into her teenage life and even into her adult life. So it's a very sad book. I'm not proud of it at all because my family let her down. um, okay, wrote a book, and I'm also executive director of a nonprofit organization called Community First. We work with single parent households and grandparents who are raising children. And right at this time, we are struggling to keep the doors open. Okay. At the organization, the nonprofit, I do a Bible study twice a month on the Sabbath to just the people that come, the members of Community First. Let me see what else. Okay. Now, how I found out that we were Hebrews, God guided me to research. He said one day, and this all didn't happen executively, but it's been about, oh, I would say about 5 or 6 years ago. I was in asking God, how do I help my people? What do I do, Lord? How do I help them? At that time, I didn't know we were Hebrews at all. I was still praying to Jesus. And I said, how do I help them? What do I do? He said, tell them who they are. And when he said, tell them who they are, I didn't right away start to research on that. Years later, about 5 years after that, um, so many of our boys are being shot in the streets. They're not just by the cops, but they're shooting each other. Our young men are killing each other in almost every city in America. And it's devastating to me. And I want to help. I want to do something about it. So this is what prompt me to do the research. But what really speeded it up, members of my church just dropped out. Some of the people that were coming, they just stopped coming. And I think part of the reason was because he didn't want me teaching under Jesus Christ. I think that was one of the reasons. And I went to God. I said, Lord, what's going on? Why is this? And he said, your seed and your seed are the chosen ones. I said, what? I never thought of my family, my 7 children and their children as the chosen ones. They're just normal people, kids and young adults, I would say, like anyone else. I didn't see them as any different, even though they grew up knowing who God was, under Jesus Christ, of course. But so this is what started the research. So I said, well, I got to find out who we are now. He's saying that, and I told them what God told me. I told my children and what God said, and so they After that, I started researching. And after about 5 months, maybe less than that, I came back to in one of our studies on Saturday. We was studying on Sundays then. I said, well, I believe we are Hebrews. I say, I'm not finished studying yet. I say, but all of the evidence points to us being Hebrews. And so all of them went to study. And I said, why don't you all check it out? And so they checked it out in about a couple of months or less than that. They came back on next time, about a month after that, and they said, I believe it. We are the Hebrews. We are the real people in the Bible, Ma. The Bible is about us. It's our history. Oh my God. And this is how it all started. And my son that was living with his girlfriend for 5 years, he got married because he wanted to please Ahia. He wanted to please our God. And the others just fell into line. I didn't have to worry about them being out at clubs anymore or being hanging out with their friends. They were too busy in the Bible. And it just changed their lives. And I said, oh my goodness, this is what God meant when he said, tell them who they are. Because once they know who they are, they change. And I did change. Something in me just healed, a great big change. I always was a God-fearing person, always tried to live a sinless life, even though that is impossible. We all sin and come short of the glory of God, but I did my best not to sin. And so this is what opened up a can of worms when I found out we were Hebrews, because then I learned so much more. I learned about Jesus is a pagan god. I learned that I was so hurt that I did this to our God. And I wear black now. I know many of the Hebrews are wearing beautiful colors, and that's wonderful. But my soul just want to caress blackness, because our God is a black God, and he want us to know that. And in Revelation 1, I think it's chapter 14 and 15, it describe our God. And I always read that, and I never did quite understand it. But it describe our God. He is black, and he's described as hair that is white like wool, and he is black as like brass burned in a furnace, that's been put in a furnace. So he's dark black. He's not just brown, he's dark skinned. And so I want to caress blackness for a while until I feel like wearing the colors, the beautiful colors that you guys are wearing. But I think that we need to not be so concerned about who's right and who's wrong. We are all learning. I've been wrong about calling God Yahweh. I used to call him Yahweh. And because I got that name from the Tetragrammaton, the YHWH, which I found out it was and I found that out from the GOCC, the two guys in the white that wears the white. We must love each other. We must not be jealous of each other. I've studied the Bible for over 13 years, and I'm still learning new things. We have to learn from each other. We cannot know it all. I've learned from kids young enough to be my children. We cannot get upset and start talking about each other, low rating each other. If we're gonna speak good things, because all of those are that not on the right track yet, they will be. As they study and learn from each other, we'll all come together to the same conclusion, that God is Ahaya, and his name is, and his son is Yeshaya. And I believe that because I did my research. I didn't just believe what I heard. I did my research. I went back into the Strong's Concordance, and I found out that the YHWH was injected into the Bible by the Jews that now live in Jerusalem. And well, hundreds of years ago, they injected that in. And that was put in there to confuse God's children, because they know that when we wake up, that their time is really short. They know that their time is running out. And so, of course, they don't want us to know that his true name is Ahia. Because if we do, and if we use that name and all of us pray to that one God, that our powers, can you imagine the power that we have as true Hebrews? Oh, I'm telling you guys, please do not bring each other down. Let's lift each other up. And this is my message to all of the Hebrew Israelites and all over the world, even those in Jamaica, those in Haiti, those in Cuba, those the Indians, they're called the Mexicans. Did you know you're part of the tribes? They are all of the color, the people of color, most of them are from the tribes, the 12 tribes. So I encourage you, but right now I'm trying to gather the Judah tribe, which is African Americans are from the Judah, the tribe of Judah. We are the leading tribes. We are the leading tribes. The Haitians are the lawgivers, but they messed up because of the witchcraft. They must stop. All of us, we should none use witchcraft. That is what causing God to put the curse on Haiti, is because of the black magic. That is the works of Satan, and you must not dabble in that. And you know, as we come together, uh, it's a wonderful thing. Now we cannot celebrate Christmas anymore. All of those holidays are pagan holidays. And when you celebrate those things, you're giving honor to Satan and his gods. You're giving honor to Antichrist when you celebrate, even Valentine's, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all of the Christian so-called holidays are pagan god days. The goddess was born, their gods was born on December the 25th. um, the so-called Saint Constantine injected that birthday for Jesus. You know, he took away the true birth of so-called Jesus, which is the Son of God, supposedly. And he injected December 25th, knowing that we Christians was going to be praising pagan gods. So we must come together now. I know that the war is on us, and I know we're going through a lot, and we have always gone through a lot, but we must come as one now. Let's not fight. Let's come together. Okay. Let's come together and continue to learn, because there's so much we need to know. This introduction was done by Pastor Harvey, Pearla Harvey, and I asked each group to make the leader of the groups to make an introduction video so that we can know about each other. And we have a small group. We don't have a lot. I mean, there's only probably about 25 of us when we all get together. But we want to join up with other groups. So I'm going to say shalom, and I hope and pray that you consider all that I've said to you. And yes, I'm a woman, and I know some of the brothers may not like that, but God say so. Ahia accepted me. He don't want me to step down. I'm a teacher. Shalom.